Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well this morning.
Good morning, Judge. Doing well.
Good.
Good morning.
Where would you all like to begin this morning?
Good morning, Judge.
Mr. Dodd, good morning. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you in this setting.
You also.
So, Judge, I'm not sure. My client is in the Atlanta Detention Center. I don't. Are they zoomed in? He's position number 10. It's actually an ORCA case. That's how I got involved.
Okay, so that's Mr. Luke Marks.
Yes, Judge, and we're ready for a non-negotiable plea. I have the paperwork. I just wasn't sure if he's going to be zoomed in or not. So,
do we know? Is there anyone
Yes,
on
he
it?
will, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, Officer Milton. Good morning. Thank
Good
you.
morning. No problem.
okay, I just want to let you know, Judge, I'm here. I'm whenever you're ready, Judge. It's fine. I'm here.
All right. So whenever we can take Mr. Haddad's case, let's go ahead and get that done. If he's ready. So who do we have ready in courtroom 2 this morning?
We got position number 1, Mr. Victor Bryant.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Bryant. I understand that this is going to be a negotiated plea. Is that right, Mr. Dodes?
Yes, Your Honor, we stipulate to the factual basis, video and ID for the purpose of this plea.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Bryant. Again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Good morning, Mr. Jones.
Good morning, Your Honor. The state's offer is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 17 days, a stay away from 77 East Andrews Drive Northwest, and the balance will be suspended.
Anything further, Mr. Dodes?
Nothing further, Your Honor. That's our understanding.
Okay. Mr. Bryant, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002219B, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
No, sir.
Okay, you don't want a jury trial, do you?
No. I'll plead guilty.
Okay. Okay, and you understand that because you're pleading guilty, you're giving up your right to a jury trial. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Bryant. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay.
Good luck, sir. Next, Your Honor, we have position number 4, Mr. Glasper.
Okay, and this is does he need to be arraigned?
We'll waive arraignment, Your Honor. Would you just like to address bond today?
Let's see, who do we have on from pretrial? Good morning.
Good morning.
Is there a history for Mr. Glasper?
Defendant has a total of 5 cycles. He has 1 cycle out of Georgia, and that's on today's calendar. And then he has 4 cycles out of Indiana with no convictions. And nothing further.
Thank you. What's the current bond, Mr. Jones?
Your Honor, it looks like the current bond here is a $2,000 good bond.
Do you have who issued that bond?
Oh, 1 second, Your Honor, I can.
It was you, Judge.
Okay. All right, what circumstances have changed, Mr. Dodos?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Glasper has been in custody for 16 days, unable to pay bond, the $2,000 surety bond. So we would request that to be converted to either a signature bond or possibly lowered to a $1,000 surety bond. I don't think that will lead to his imminent release. I'm working with his mom and brother, who I've been in contact with, on raising the funds so that Mr. Glasper can be released. And be a part of his defense. But at this time, it's not clear that Mr. Glasper will be able to afford that bond.
Okay, so if he gets a signature bond, there's nothing else that's holding him, is that correct?
That's my understanding, Your Honor. I can double check on Odyssey, but that is my understanding.
Okay, well, this is,
Only things holding him in, Judge.
okay, thank you, Ms. Lewis. Anything further, Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is just opposed to lowering this bond beyond what this court has already set the bond. Just to remind this court of the facts, officer responded to a third-party complaint of the defendant driving, and the complaint stated that there was a dark-colored Chevy Silverado bearing the partial tag, was traveling about 15 miles per hour eastbound on Holcomb Bridge, swerving across lanes of traffic. Officers made contact on the basis of failing to maintain lane and impeding the flow of traffic. The driver, once officers got the driver out of the car, the driver appeared extremely disoriented, and the driver is the defendant, and exhibited a slow, incoherent speech. In addition, he did not know what state he was in, Your Honor. When he was asked, his face was extremely sweaty, and he had a sweat pool around his lips and around his nose. The white portion of his eyes were extremely red and glossy. And during the field sobriety test, the defendant failed to follow the tip of the officer's finger with his eyes and even moved his head from left to right. This defendant is a threat to the community, Your Honor, as he made the decision allegedly to drive under the influence of multiple substances. Therefore, we will ask that the court stick firm in its decision of keeping this at a $2,000 good bond for this defendant. Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Judge. I'm sorry
Yes.
to interrupt y'all, but according to his booking screen, it shows that Cago Bell Bonding Company posted a 2,000 bond on him on April the 24th of 2023. So he has bond. He posted bond with Cago Bonding Company. If they go on their booking screen, they will see on April the 24th, a $2,000 surety bond was posted by Cago Bell Bonding Company.
And in that case, Your Honor, I do see that now. I guess this happened last night. I was in contact with the family yesterday. I guess they were able to work it out. So I guess the issue of bond is moved.
Bond is already posted.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lewis. Good luck to you, Mr. Glasper.
Process that, okay? Oh, what, I got bonded? You got bonded?
So this case is just reset further notice. You're not gonna arraign them.
Mr. Dudas is gonna file a waiver.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Who do we have next?
It's gonna be position number 2, Your Honor, Mr. Roger.
Okay.
And this is a conflict if Ms. McLeod is on the line.
Is Ms. McLeod with us this morning? It doesn't appear that Ms. McLeod is with us yet, Norris. So can we get someone else till she?
I'm gonna go to Mr. Gabriel Parks, and he's actually position 15.
Okay,
Mike?
He's 15 and
And
16.
16, yeah, 15 and 16. Thank you, Ms. Duncan.
okay. And this is gonna be a negotiated plea, is that correct?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Good morning, Mr. Parks. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, Mr. Moore.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Parks?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Parks. Thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's offer in case 23 CR 002167B, position 15 for 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of possession of drug-related objects is 12 months to serve, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days with the balance probated in ADET, and to stay away from the racetrack located at 1180 Virginia Avenue in Hapeville.
Okay, and position 16,
Position 16 for account of criminal trespass and possession of drug-related objects. The offer is 12 months to serve, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days, with the balance suspended, a stay away from the Chevron at 1337 Virginia Avenue in Hapeville, and it's to run concurrent with position 15.
right? Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, those are the terms we expected to hear. That is what he agrees to. We stipulate to the 3 elements in each of the 2 cases. I may have written it down wrong. It's 1137 Virginia Avenue on the Chevron. Maybe it really is 1337, so I probably made a mistake. But he knows where the Chevron is and he will stay away. He'll also stay away from the racetrack. He understands what an ADET is. We've discussed it. That's going to cost him a little bit of coin to find that and pay for it. So it asks the court to give him a financial break on the probation fee.
Does he have a job?
Do you work, Mr. Parks? Not right now, Your Honor. He's sometimes challenged in getting a job.
Anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Parks, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002167B, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and possession and use of drug-related objects. And in case 23 CR 002226B, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and possession and use of drug-related objects. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Very much so.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Not at all.
I'll accept your negotiated pleas of guilty, Mr. Parks. Let's see, I'll waive 2 months of probation fees to help you get and stay on your feet and give you the opportunity to get a job. And when you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner that you get it done, the sooner that you won't be on reporting probation, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Parks.
He's all signed up and we'll forward the email with attachments to the court, to the clerk.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Who do we have next?
Yeah.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 19, Mr. Calvin Riser.
Hey, come on. Wait.
And Mr. Riser is also a negotiated plea.
That's correct, Your Honor. Calvin Riser is number 19, and that's negotiated as well.
Okay, very good. Good morning, Mr. Riser. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar. Good morning, sir, that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Riser? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, position 19, ending in 169J, 1 count of criminal trespass. The state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days with the balance suspended, and a stay away from the racetrack located at 120 Piedmont Northeast in Atlanta.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, we stipulate the 3 elements, and he asked the court to accept his negotiated plea according to the terms we just heard, which is what he expected to hear.
Okay. Mr. Riser, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002169J, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury, and that by pleading guilty, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept your negotiated plea, Mr. Riser. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Norris, I just want you to know that if you haven't seen, Ms. McLeod is with us now. So if you want to take her cases, I believe that was position number 2 that was called earlier.
Okay, he's on his way. Mr. Chen, position number 2.
Good morning, Ms. McLeod. And this is Mr. Roger Chen, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Ms. McLeod, good morning. What are we doing with Mr. Chen this morning?
Unsure, Your Honor. I was not able to speak with it.
Okay, can you call courtroom 2 and we will
can.
give you that opportunity.
I also have another client on your calendar, Mr. Pinckney.
Okay, that's position 17 and 18, I believe.
Yes.
Okay,
I would like to hear the offer on Mr. Chen, Your Honor.
say it again, Ms.
I'm calling
McLeod.
you now,
I would-
Mr. McLeod.
But the
Phone should be ringing now.
Mr. Chen.
Oh, okay. Mr. Jones, is Mr. Chen your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the offer?
The offer for Mr. Chen is going to be a time served, 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, stay away, and a restitution of $500, the balance probated.
Do you have proof of a $500 in restitution?
I do. Let me check, Your Honor. 1 second.
Okay, and tell me what the restitution's for also.
The restitution is for a broken window of the building that he was found sleeping in. No, Your Honor, I do not. But if we can set this out for a restitution hearing, that'd be great.
I'm not going to require restitution, Ms. McLeod, as there's no proof of it, and they can deal with that on the civil end. So if you want to go ahead and talk to Mr. Chen and let him know that.
Yes.
Okay, and I also understand that Ms. McLeod has a jury trial at 9:30. So if we can get her cases done as quickly as possible so I can get her out of here, I'd appreciate that. I think that she also has Mr. Pinckney. What are we going to do with Mr. Pinckney, Ms. McLeod?
Mr. Pinckney had wanted to accept a plea offer. The issue was probation the last time we were here because he has a probation that he's going to have to do in Clayton County. And we were trying to see if it was possible for both of them to run together because he thought that probation in Fulton County as well as probation in Clayton County would be a hardship for him. I had tried to contact probation in Clayton County, but I was totally unsuccessful. I called, I left messages, and no one came back with me to tell me whether or not it would be possible. Because
Okay,
that's
so
the issue
are
the
you-
last.
Are you going to need to speak with Mr. Pinckney this morning to relay that to him?
And Ms. McLeod as well, I sent you the updated offer this morning via email.
Oh, I didn't see it. What is it?
Okay, for position 17, it is 12 months to serve, 46 days, credit for time served, 23 days with the balance suspended. Stay away from 2900 Camp Creek Parkway, apartment M12. No further contact with Braxton Wilkins. And we had restitution, but I got to check for that amount. For position 18, it is 12 months to serve, 120 days, credit for time served, 30 days with the balance probated. FVIP, no further contact with Ms. Tanai Thomas except for support obligations if their child is legitimized, third-party child contact, and to stay away from 2075 Bent Creek Way, Southwest in Atlanta.
The issue for him was the probation.
Okay, so you're going to need to speak with him also this morning, correct, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so after you speak with Mr. Chen, let's let you speak with Mr. Pinckney, okay?
Your Honor, Mr. Pinckney's on the upper floors. There's an officer doing those floors.
Okay,
I have to give him a few minutes to get up there.
okay, that's fine. Just let me know when he's ready. I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, and
You can call, Ms. McLeod, you can call the 2392 extension. That's the 404-612-2392. And Mr. Chen will be waiting by the phone.
Okay.
all right, thank you.
And in front of you now, Your Honor, we have position number 11, Mr. Timothy Moore Jr.
Okay, and this is going to be a negotiated plea, is that correct?
Who's that?
Number 11,
Angela?
Mr. Dotis.
Your number 11.
Negotiated plea, correct, Mr. Dotis?
Yes, Your Honor. For position number 11, Mr. Moore, negotiated plea.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Moore. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer is going to be 12 months to serve 28 days, credit for time served, 14 days, and a stay away from all MARTA locations.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Dotis?
Yes, Your Honor. We do stipulate to the 3 elements for the purpose of this plea. We would ask this court if we could word it as comply with all active MARTA suspensions instead of a broad stay away, so that when such suspensions, if there are any active, expire, Mr. Moore can still travel around the city.
Your Honor, if I may, the state is going to be concerned that the defendant also has an open case 22 CP 209709, where he also has a stay away from all Bank of America locations. So the defendant has a habit of criminally trespassing here. Therefore, we are going to stick to the stance of he should be required to stay away.
And why are we not handling that other criminal trespass this morning?
I don't see that on Odyssey, Your Honor.
Give me 1 second, Your Honor, but I do believe that comes from that comes off of another case in Superior Court, Your Honor. I'm going to double confirm that.
You know, I'm ashamed.
Can you mute that? Yeah, Your Honor, we don't have any information on Bank of America. That's news to my client, so I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't see no application Superior Court.
I don't know.
Yeah, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I do apologize about that.
Okay, thank you. Anything further, Mr. Dotis?
Nothing, Your Honor. We'd stick with our point. We just asked for, just to word it as comply with active MARTA suspensions so that once any suspensions do expire, Mr. Moore can travel to and from work freely.
Okay. Mr. Moore, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002256J, you wish to plead guilty to certain acts on a bus, rail station that were prohibited, criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and 5 counts of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Moore, I'm not going to keep you away from getting to your work, but you're going to have to stay away from MARTA until you don't have any active suspension. So you're to abide by any active MARTA suspensions, and when there are no, and you're going to have to make sure that you know when the suspensions are lifted. Okay, so whenever the suspensions are lifted, then you'll be able to use MARTA again, but not before. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Moore.
Your Honor, you can go to ACDC.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, Ms. McLeod.
Your Honor, I was able to speak with Mr. Chen, and he wants to accept the state's offer. Also, for Mr. Pinckney, he wants to have a trial. He does not want to accept the state's offer.
Okay, so does Mr. Pinckney need to be arraigned this morning, or are you going to file a waiver?
I'm going to file a waiver, Your Honor, and also we would ask for a signature bond for Mr. Pickney until trial.
Okay, we're gonna have to wait till we get to Mr. Pickney if that's the case, if he wants to have a bond hearing. Who do we have right now at the South Annex at ACDC?
That's my client, Judge. That's position number 10, Luke Marks.
Okay, I'm not sure. Can you hear me, Mr. Marks?
Yeah.
Okay, good morning, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yeah,
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yeah,
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Given that this is a non-negotiated plea pre-trial, does Mr. Marks have a history?
One moment, Your Honor. Defendant has a total of 4 cycles. He has a failure to appear in 2023 and no convictions, Your Honor.
Okay, who's presenting for the state?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So on June 29, 2022, at approximately 8:36 a.m., officers responded to 323 Jones Drive, where they found an individual engaging in a verbal altercation with the caller who's on the phone while holding a kitchen knife. Upon arrival, officer heard items being thrown around and glass breaking inside of the home. Officers made entry and observed the defendant with a knife in his hand while standing in the kitchen. Officers ordered the defendant to drop the weapon. The victim, Mr. Anthony Marks, stated that the incident started because him and the defendant went shopping, and the victim refused to purchase some items for the defendant. The defendant became irate and, while driving, jumped out of the car and banged his head on the windshield. At some point, the defendant grabbed the knife from the kitchen once they arrived home and was intimidating Mr. Marks in order to make him purchase the item. At this point, Mr. Marks and his wife, Miss Jamie Ether, last name is spelled Ethier, locked themselves in their bedroom door. The defendant then followed both victims upstairs to the bedroom door and attempted to gain entry into the bedroom door by stabbing the door with the knife from the kitchen. Officers observed both bedroom doors had knife damage.
Is Anthony Marks and Jamie Ethier to Mr. Luke Marks?
Mr. Marks is his father, and Miss Ether is his stepmom.
I can address to that as well, Judge.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Jones?
No, Your Honor. We'll just ask that the court sounds for the victims if they're on at the appropriate time.
Well, I'd like to know if they're on right now. So Mr. Anthony Marks or Miss Jamie Ethner, if you're on the call this morning, if you would identify yourselves. Doesn't appear so, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Haddad.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, on behalf of my client is 23 years of age. He has been living sporadically with his parents. I had numerous phone conversations with the parents, specifically the stepmom, Judge. This incident occurred in 2020, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And the case was assigned to Ms. Gant, or Ms. Gant had handled it. And for the courts, that's why I wanted to handle it myself. But Ms. Gant had requested an evaluation to be done on my client, or on her client at the time. And Grady prepared a report, Judge, and just so the court is aware, the report came back on the 20th, recently, March 24th. And just so the court is aware, he was actually found incompetent to stand trial. Now, having seen that, I've never actually met Mr. Marks. I'm not sure the extent of Ms. Gantz's interaction with Mr. Marks. I went to the jail to see him, lay eyes on him. I visited him at least twice. I've had numerous conversations with his mom. We're able to communicate, Judge, and in my professional opinion, he has, and I don't know if the court has a copy of the report, but he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia and psychosis, and he's been prescribed risperidone. That's risperidone. It's an antipsychotic. Also,
Mr. Haddad,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Haddad, can we do this in a breakout room, please?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I don't feel comfortable.
I wasn't going to go into too many details, Judge, but I just want to let the court know. But I'll be happy, whatever the
Okay.
court wishes.
I do have some questions
Absolutely.
before we go on.
And I apologize, Judge.
No, you're fine. And I know that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to handle a number of things with people that are sending me messages that Miss McLeod has to go. So Miss McLeod, are you there?
Judge, I think she's already signed out. She wants to handle it on this afternoon calendar, if that's okay.
Okay, on the SEA calendar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I mean, that's fine with me since I'm doing that calendar. So did you get that courtroom too?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I appreciate it. Okay.
No, you're
And let's
good.
see, let's go to a breakout room. Mr. Haddad, myself, Mr. Jones, Mr. Walker, if you are
Yes,
with us
sir.
this morning. Okay. So Ms. Lewis, if you would
Okay,
join us.
Judge.
It's Miss Grace.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marks. We've had an opportunity to discuss your case, and Mr. Haddad is going to speak more with you regarding this matter so that we can properly address the case. Mr. Haddad?
Mr. Marks, I'm gonna come out to the jail to see you the next couple of days, explain to you what's going on. I'm still working on that burglary charge as well, so hopefully we can try and get everything lined up, okay? And just, you can give the thumbs up if you heard me. Okay.
Okay, and Mr. Mark is going to be placed on the May 11th competency calendar.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, have a good day, Mr. Haddad.
Thank
You
you.
also, Mr. Marks.
Your Honor, can we go to position 10,
Okay,
Nicholas Marcus?
we just did position number 10.
I'm sorry, position 9.
Okay. And this is going to be a negotiated plea, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Marcus. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Yes. Let's see, South ACDC, can we unmute?
It's all right.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Marcus? Okay, very good. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Marcus. Yes, Mr. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. So the state's recommendation for Mr. Marcus is going to be 12 months to serve, 154 days, credit for time served 77 days, balance probated, stay away from the victim, Mr. Cesar Gutierrez. I'm sorry, the no further contact, and then to stay away from the victim's address. Your Honor, the state is concerned here because they are neighbors, and the victim is on, and if we can sound for the victim at the appropriate time, but they are neighbors, and this has been a repeated thing with the defendant going on the neighbor's property. In fact, yes, Your Honor, that's it at this moment.
Mr. Caesar, what's the last name, Mr. Jones?
Gutierrez.
Mr. Gutierrez, would you like to address the court this morning?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Okay, do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, sir. What would you like to tell the court?
So, as Mr. Walker was saying, there's been repeated occasions that Nick's been coming, damaging, harassing the workers working at my parents' place. It's just too much, and now he was harassing us and trespassing criminally with those, like, I guess, hate messages or whatever he left on the front porch. He damaged also the back panel window on the sunroom. We have evidence for everything. And it's been harassing and intimidating neighbors. It's not only me. Unfortunately, I'm just the victim this time, but he has previous violent damages to a neighbor, like 3 houses down the road, again for trespassing and damaging property. He has violated also probation twice, and he has, a big list of, I think, crimes that he's been doing in the neighborhood. It's, neighbors are willing to come and having a statement written and passed to you and to Mr. Walker. We talked about that last night. So everything that we can do to keep him away from the neighborhood.
All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
I'm sorry. Given the nature of the defendant's history and the victim's statement, we are also going to request an ankle monitor to ensure that the defendant is staying away from the victim's address given their close proximity.
You can call the probations also how he violated the previous 2 with Will, again, 3 doors down when he he has started throwing things at his house, and he has it on video. And that's the time he served, I don't know, a few months ago. But it's repeated. He doesn't really care, apparently, about probation. He has violated that twice. And we've been trying to communicate with his probation officer. We can get a hold of him or her now. So we've been leaving messages. But yeah, we're actively preventing him to go back to the streets because he's very unsafe for like everyone.
Okay, thank you. Who's representing Mr. Marcus?
I do, Your Honor. I think
Okay.
we heard basically the same thing last time Mr. Gutierrez was on Zoom with us. And the last time we were in SAP, and this has been reset to today. Your Honor, we asked to accept the terms of negotiated plea, and we stipulate to the 3 elements.
Well, it appears that the terms have changed, Mr. McLean.
Well, he's already accepted these, Your Honor. I think we have a contract.
Well, you only have a contract if I agree to it.
In contract law, we have a contract as to what the recommendation is going to be, and then we put it before the court. You
Right.
can accept it, we have a contract.
Right. So with what I'm hearing, why did we place this? Was it on a why did we place it on another SAP calendar? What was the issue last time?
We pled not guilty after hearing the same thing before, and the state withdrew, I think at that point, but I could be.
I was on the last
Thank
time,
you.
Your
I
Honor, and it was
withdrew.
Judge
One
Law,
of them
and
withdrew.
Judge Law would not accept the plea based on the defendant's criminal history. It was a non-negotiated plea, and the defense didn't want to take it, and it was based on the history.
Right, it didn't fly, and ultimately, at the end of it, we pled not guilty.
Correct.
Okay. So is this the same offer as was denied last time?
Well, I mean, he
Except
had
for more
served some
days?
additional- Correct. And I think there was an ankle monitor request last time. It went non-negotiated, and it went on for quite some time. But ultimately, they didn't accept what Judge Law was going to issue.
Okay, and what, since I'm just getting into this, what is the history?
I have Odyssey pulled up. I'm showing 19 SC 168281. That was a burglary in the second degree. That was a conviction, I believe. I'm showing another case 20 SC 174026. That was a negotiated guilty plea on criminal attempt to commit burglary, theft by taking. Seeing another burglary, and that is 20 SC 174324. That was also a conviction, and that was all in the years of 2019 and 2020.
And the state had requested balance probated prior.
Correct.
Without any underlying.
It was a no further contact and a stay away, but after hearing the victim speak again, we will be asking for an ankle monitor to ensure the victim's safety.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. McLean or Mr. Walker, Mr. Jones?
Last court time, it was simply more time has gone by, so you've had more punishment. My ankle monitors essentially talks about 300 a month. I understand the contract from Freeman, but they're pretty inconvenient.
I'm sorry, Mr. McLean, I'm not.
The ankle
able to hear
monitors
you.
are expensive at about 300 a month in the past, I've heard, but the ankle,
The fire alarm is going off right now. Can you give it a check it?
Okay, yes.
It should be fine, hopefully.
All right, so given what I've heard this morning and the posture of the case, I would give Mr. Marcus a time served plea with the 77 days. Given that the case is going to be probated, I believe that there's some issues going on. I will require 6 weeks of anger awareness and an ankle monitor. And he would,
County pay for the ankle monitor.
well, I don't know. I don't know who pays for the ankle monitor. It's my understanding that he would have to pay for the ankle monitor.
Well, I don't think he's got the funds, Your Honor. He's living with his parents, and I don't think with the period of time he's been in that he's going to be able to find a job right away.
Well, ask him when was the last time he had a job.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez, for your comment.
I believe I can acquire the funds.
But let's just calm it down and let's stop having the dialogue between Mr. Gutierrez and my client.
Well, he's on mute now. So do you need time to speak with your client, Mr. McLean? It seems like he is indicating that he is willing to accept the terms, the court's terms. But if you want to give him.
I do see a thumbs up. I think we've been in good communication. We're on the same wavelength, Your Honor. He'll accept those terms. We may not like it, but we'll accept those terms.
Okay. Anything further before I take the plea?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Marcus, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 000805F, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, I will accept your plea, Mr. Marcus. Let's see, the court's sentence is 12 months to serve 154 days, credit for time served 77 days, balance probated, 6 weeks anger awareness class, an ankle monitor while you're on probation, no further contact with the victims, and to stay away from the incident location. Good luck to you, Mr. Marcus.
Thank you, Your Honor. God bless you.
You also, sir. Okay, who do we have next?
Position 2 on the add-on calendar, Mr. Fernandez.
And I have this as Mr. Attorney Robert Booker's case. Is Mr. Booker on with us?
I've been trying to get that.
Okay, so are you represented by Mr. Booker?
I am.
Okay, have you heard from him recently?
I can't say I have, no.
Okay.
Excuse me, Judge, this case was reset and added from last week. Mr. Booker was not available due to he had a conflict in Gwinnett County at the time, and he's aware of this hearing for today. I will try to reach out with him on an email again, but he did get notification and information regarding this court hearing today.
Okay. So we're going to try to get in touch with your attorney, sir. If we cannot, what I want to do is that if we can not raise him, I'm going to add you on to my calendar on Thursday. Okay. So if we can't get him today, I'll see you back on Thursday.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, and I'm sorry that we haven't been able to get him on to move your case forward, but we'll see if we can get that done.
I understand, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Let's see, who do we have next?
Position 3, Mr. Cousins.
Okay. And that's going to be a negotiated plea.
Yes, not here that. Your Honor, this is position 3. I apologize. The fire alarm was going off.
Okay, you're fine. Yes, position number 3, Mr. Cousin.
Yes, Your Honor. This should be a negotiated plea. I do want to confirm the jail time. This incident occurred on March 12th, and Mr. Cousin has been in custody since that incident. The offer was only giving him credit for 15 days, so he should have substantially more credit for that.
How much,
I did not get the exact number. I'm happy to calculate it, but if we could just calculate it, I guess, in a way that he gets enough credit, so it's a time served offer. The state wanted him to serve 45 days. It looks like he served at least that. They're right around that amount. If we could just word it as a time served offer, if Mr. Jones is open to that.
well, for the paperwork, I'm gonna need how much time has been served. So Ms. Lewis, do we know how much time that he served?
Right now, according to the booking screen, it shows, well, from his previous, from his felony charges, he's been in there for 996 days. But I think these charges were added back here on April the 11th onto his booking screen. So he's only been in jail for 9 days on these charges alone.
So he's only gonna get credit for 9 days.
Yeah, according for these charges, it's on the counter.
Okay.
Added these charges on 4/11, but he's been in jail, correct, since August the 3rd of 2020, but that's on the felony charges.
Yes, Your Honor, that's the state's position. The state's intent was not to offer a time served offer. The state was aware that he was incarcerated on those other charges and that these charges only gave him 9 days, Your Honor.
And regardless, he's in custody on some other issues also, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. And speaking with my client, Mr. Cousin indicated that his attorney on those other cases was, my understanding was nearing the ends of that situation that would lead to hopefully his release. I don't think it'll be an issue, but I did want to, make sure that this, if accepting an offer, wouldn't hold him. But it looks like, now that I understand where the state was coming from, my apologies on the math and the accusation timeline. It looks like at most with this offer, he would serve, Mr. Cousin would serve 8 days on this case. I went over that with Mr. Cousin as that is a possibility, but Mr. Cousin, if you're comfortable with serving 8 more days on this case, then this will go forward as a negotiated plea. If you're okay with that, Mr. Cousin.
Okay.
Your Honor, I just want to correct the record. Those 9 days was as of 4/19. So given that we are at 4/25, that should be an additional, some additional time, which should get him to 15 days. Sorry.
Those charges are added on 4/11 on his booking screen, sir. Not 4/19, they were added on 4/11. As of 4/19, he was in jail for 9 days as of that day, but these charges was added on April the 11th of 2023.
Right, so he gets credit for 15 days, and as Attorney Doty said, about 8 more days will complete the sentence.
Okay, so 12 months to serve, 45 days, credit for time served, 15 days. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And I also have balance suspended, but I also have 8 weeks of anger management.
And our understanding is that that should be balance probated, and I discussed that with Mr. Cousin.
Okay. All right, so are you all in agreement that that is your negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Anything further from either before I take the plea?
Is it 6 weeks or 8 weeks of anger management, Judge?
I've got 6 weeks on the paperwork here.
And Your Honor, we do stipulate to the factual basis venue ID for the purpose of this plea. We would request this court to help Mr. Cousin get back on his feet upon his release. He has been in custody for a considerable amount of time. So if this court would waive some of his probation fees, and if there's no objection to him switching from non-reporting status upon completion of all conditions.
Okay. Anything further?
Yeah, one more thing. Who's the no further contact with?
Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So that's going to be no further contact with Sergeant Aiden Waters and Training Officer A. Walton.
All right. Mr. Cousins, good morning. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, I do.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Cousin? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. You've been charged in case 23 CR 002248A with 2 counts of terroristic threats and acts, and it's my understanding that you wish to plead guilty to those charges. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
I am not.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, I am.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, I do.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, they have not.
I will accept your plea of guilty, Mr. Cousins. The sentence is 12 months to serve, 45 days, credit for time served, 15 days, balance probated, no further contact with Mr. Waters and Mr. Walton, 6 weeks of anger management. I'm going to waive 2 months of your probation fees to help you get that 6 weeks of anger management done. And when you complete the 6 weeks of anger management, the probation will go to a non-reporting status, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the sooner you get it done, the sooner you won't have to pay any fees, and the sooner that you won't be on reporting probation. Good luck to you, Mr. Cousin.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I have a announcement for position 17 to 18.
Okay.
I went up there to pick him up, and he was just in a fight, and they took him to medical, so he might be medical reset.
Those are Ms. McLeod's cases as well.
Okay, right. So Mr. Payton needs a medical reset. Let's reset him for next Tuesday. So given that he doesn't have a time served offer, so we'll reset Mr. Pinckney for next Tuesday. Thank you.
The next, we have position number 21 in courtroom 2, Mr. Holster.
Okay. This is a negotiated plea?
Correct.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Duncan?
Is this position 20 or 21?
21.
Okay. In this case, the state's offer for the case ending in 235S, account of loader prowl and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, is 12 months to serve, 32 days, credit for time served, 16 days with a balance probated, 10 hours of community service, and a stay away from 589 Elmwood Drive Northeast. We were not able to make contact with the victim. However, we would still like to sound for the victim, in this case, Itmar Kimchi, just in case they are here.
Doesn't appear that they're here, Ms. Duncan. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, those are the terms we expected to hear. He does agree to them. He asks the court to accept his negotiated plea. We do stipulate to the 3 necessary elements.
Okay, Mr. Smith, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002235F, you wish to plead guilty to loitering and prowling and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Very.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
I understand, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Smith, when you complete the 10 hours of community service, the probation is going to terminate. So the sooner you get that 10 hours done, the sooner you're not going to be on probation, okay?
I can pick up track for 10 hours, sir.
Okay,
Your Honor,
very good.
Since,
All right,
since the
good
only
luck to
thing-
you, Mr. Smith.
Oh, Your Honor?
Yes.
Since the only thing standing between the BP and the BS would be the 10 hours, could we waive the first month? I think he'll knock that 10 hours out in the first.
I don't think they get charged for the first month.
I think it's any portion thereof.
Okay, I'm not gonna, no, I think that he should be able to get that done in a month. It's a minimum amount that he should be able to pay. So, but I will allow it to terminate instead of him going non-reported.
I very much appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
All right, here we are.
Next, we have position 22, position 23, Mr. Jericho Stearns.
Your Honor, these two cases are a couple of years apart in terms of alleged occurrence. They're quite separate from each other. He'd like to plead as negotiated in the one from 2021. And on the other one, we will waive formal reading of the accusation and ask to be briefly told that he will have future court dates and what the maximum punishment is, and that would constitute his arraignment.
Okay, so that's position 22. He's going to be arraigned on.
Correct.
And position 23, he's going to plead guilty to.
I believe that's correct. That's the 2021 date of alleged occurrence, correct?
Okay, so let me start with position 22. Good morning, Mr. Stearns. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sir.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? The other right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down, Mr. Stearns. You've been charged in case 23 CR 002259F with one misdemeanor offense. This charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. McLean?
We do.
How do you plead, Mr. Stearns? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
It's my understanding that you're going to plead not guilty to that charge, Mr. Stearns.
Okay. Yeah. So one was the 2021 matter. That's the guilty one. Simple battery you wanted to plead guilty to. Yeah. It's the other case that you're pleading the not guilty to. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
More clear, Your Honor, on the dates.
all right, so the 2259F case, it's my understanding you're pleading not guilty to. Is that correct, Mr. Stearns?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your case, I will note your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date, sir. And as far as the simple battery charge goes, Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation for the case ending in 084F, the count of simple battery is 12 months to serve, 284 days, credit for time served, 284 days. No further violent contact with Deputy Lewis.
Mr. McLean?
That is correct, Your Honor. We asked the court to accept that and he stipulates the three elements. Nothing to add.
Okay, Mr. Stearns, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 003084F, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I will accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good, sir.
That's it.
We have next.
Next, we're going to position number 25, Mr. Larry Williams, position 25.
Okay. This is also a negotiated plea.
I believe that's correct, Your Honor. Let me lean over if I might and grab my paper. Pinckney is, the file. That's a, yeah, I think it was a. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, that's a negotiated plea.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Is that a yes? Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer in this case ending in 2175G for theft by taking is 12 months to serve, 36 days, credit for time served, 18 days with the balance probated, and anti-theft course. No further contact with Ms. TIMALIA T Gordon, GORDON, and to stay away from 2200 Godby Road, apartment I-4. And restitution, let me just check to see if we have that amount. One moment. This is position 25. Here is. One second. I'm sorry, my computer is going. We do not have an amount for that restitution. We did make contact with the victim. However, she informed that she did not know this defendant at all. She caught him on her video stealing her package. She didn't provide us with an amount. She said she never got her package back because he indicated that he sold it for drugs. She did indicate that she would be on the line, and we would like to sound for her just in case she is here.
Okay, go ahead and sound for Ms. Duncan.
Ms. Gordon, are you here? This is your time to speak to the court if you would like to do so. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. You have to turn on your camera.
Doesn't appear that she's with us, Ms. Duncan. As such, restitution won't be given in the case. Mr. McLean?
No, nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Williams, it's my understanding in case 23 CR 002175G, you wish to plead guilty to theft by taking. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation? Was that a yes?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Williams. Let's see, once you take that theft class, then the probation is going to terminate, okay? So as soon as you get the theft class done, as soon as you're not going to be on probation, okay? All right, good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have add-on one, Mr. Jonathan Brown.
And let's see, what are we doing with Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor. I was waiting for an offer that Mr. Walker did provide me, and after I did have a chance to meet with Mr. Brown and go over that. At this time, we're going to waive arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay, so you're going to file a waiver?
Yes, Your Honor. I did want to ask if I noticed that there was a note that this Mr. Brown's booking number is not linked to this case. So I want to make sure that this is tracking with everything else that holds him. If there's a way to get all this under one booking number, or if we just need to keep making sure we don't lose track of this one case.
What happened, Mr. Doe, with this, the jail, due to he had a alias name, they gave him a whole nother ID number. That's the reason why this case did not get associated with his current booking number. That will be a jail correction to do. Nothing I could do on my end for it. It's just that due to the way they booked them in, that's the reason why it was not linked, because of the alias name that he gave.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Lewis. I just want to make sure that we're tracking everything we need to do.
Okay, so your case will be returned to the division judge, Mr. Brown, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Good luck to you, sir.
I'll let Ms. Cole know to contact you. And I'll call her.
Next, Your Honor, we have the probation.
Okay.
Position 2 and position 3, Mr. Hambrick.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Hambrick. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the probation revocation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Officer Allen. How are you today?
Good morning, Your Honor. Mr. Hambrick was sentenced to probation. He was required to report, pay probation supervision fees, stay away from Clark Atlanta, and complete a shoplifting course, and complete 20 hours of community service. The defendant has failed to report to our office. The defendant has failed to provide documentation of the shoplifting course, as well as the 20 community service hours. Because the defendant has been in custody since January 19, 2023, probation at this time is asking for his case to be time served.
Any objection, Mr. McLean?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept probation's recommendation of time served. Good luck to you, Mr. Hambrick.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Honor, that's all we have in courtroom 2.
Okay, do we have,
Gotta figure out who we're missing.
I've got a
Okay.
case, in
Five.
South Annex.
okay, so we have position 5, position 6, position 14. I have that you all, let's see. Couldn't locate Zachary Orada. Have we been able?
Yeah, we're still trying to locate him, Your Honor.
Okay,
What
so
about position 20?
I have position 20 is loaned out. Is that correct? He's a loan out somewhere?
Position 20. Is a loan out, yes, to
Okay, so we can reset Mr. Smith. I guess until next Tuesday.
position 20.
Oh, that's the loan out, Your Honor. It's to U.S. Marshal, so we never have any, we can't even just run over to Grady and see him, but I don't know where he is.
Okay, when would you like me to reset him until, Mr. McLean?
A couple of weeks, we can inquire of the record room where there's a phone number with which we can reach him, maybe.
Okay, so we'll reset him 2 weeks.
So that'd be May the 9th.
Okay, May
Oh, Mr.
9th.
Smith. Also, Judge, I didn't let the ASG know that charge number 8 on his booking screens, that was an NOD by the state. So y'all still, I saw that you have put a sentence for that, but if you look at the Odyssey, y'all NOD that charge way back in the days of
What?
2017.
What position is that? Ms. Lewis?
Position number 20. I just want to make them aware of it because apparently nobody noted last time. Position number 20. The last charge, number 8, was NOD by the state back on March the 21st of 2017. It was not on docket. And that is recorded in Odyssey.
Okay, so they'll make a note of that.
Yeah, please make note of that.
And we have position number 24, Ms. Wheeler. So seems like we still have
quite a few cases.
3 female.
You got that piece of paper I gave you?
Mr. Dotis,
Yes, Your Honor.
are you going to be representing Mr. Carlos Thomas on the DV bench warrant calendar today? Is that Mr. McLean?
That'll be me, Your Honor.
Okay, have you already spoken with him?
I've spoken with his brother, Your Honor. The brother should be on Zoom, and I'm hoping that one is named Carl, one is named Carlos. Their names are very similar.
So I have Carlos Thomas. And he has two positions. Is that right?
Yes, and Carl is actually the victim in those cases.
Okay. Thank you. Do you have his number, Mr. McLean?
The phone number for
Carlos Thomas?
Oh, Carl's going to address that. They're right down the street, and Carl is going to address what the situation is with the family. Let me.
Okay. I'm just asking because it's 10:22. Like right now, we seem to have some downtime. If you can raise him and get him on the Zoom call, we can take care of him earlier.
All right,
at 11 o'clock.
Very good, Your Honor. Let me do this then. Let me sound for. Can Carl hear me?
That's connecting to audio.
He's connecting to audio. Okay. That number that you have, that's the correct number. Okay. It's in Odyssey. Okay. I was just going to have Carl call me here on the desk phone here, but the Odyssey number reaches the family.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to see if we could move it forward. We'll be in recess until somebody gets on with us.
You know, Your Honor, that's the kind of case where the state and the court and I might want to do a breakout as a preliminary matter.
Okay, that's fine, Mr. McLean. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, whatever phone number that is, let's try and see if we can find that. Yeah.
Excuse me, courtroom 2, you are not on mute.
If I had, thank you. If I had my phone with me, I'd simply look at your
And Your Honor, I do have an announcement on probation revocation 1. I know. I will address when the court second session.
There we go.
Yes, Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor. I was told that Mr. Frazier was a loan out to Grady yesterday, but I've just been told that he is going to be brought down so we can address probation revocation position 1. I'll just need a second to speak with Mr. Frazier, but we can address that today.
Okay, is probation still on the line?
You looking for probation or intake?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm still
Okay,
here.
yeah, did you hear that, Officer Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you'll be prepared to go forward with Mr., I guess it's Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Okay, very good, thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
General question on Carl trying to connect the audio. Does do we need to let him in? Is that thing or? Okay.
On the, add-on, right? No, we're gonna.
He's on probation. And Your Honor, we're ready on probation revocation position 1. If we want to take him.
Okay. Yes, good morning, Mr. Frazier. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the probation revocation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Officer Allen?
Mr. Frazier was sentenced to probation for the charge of battery. He was required to report to probation, pay probation supervision fees, complete a substance abuse evaluation, complete domestic violence counseling, and have no contact with the victim, Shanae Frazier. As of today, the defendant has never reported to probation. He has failed to provide documentation of the substance abuse evaluation as well as the domestic violence classes. It's 8 months, 22 days remaining on Mr. Frazier's case. At this time, probation recommends that the defendant continue on probation and enroll in domestic violence, which is within 2 weeks of being released.
And how often is he to report?
He is to report once a month as long as he provides documentation of those classes.
And all right, Mr. Dodas?
Yes, Your Honor. I had a chance to speak with Mr. Frazier regarding this situation. He understands the issue, and he understands that what is required of him if given the opportunity to go back on probation, which he wants the opportunity to. I have sat down with Mr. Frazier and I filled out a new contact sheet to provide with the probation officer that I'll fax over after this. It has 2 good phone numbers, an address, and all other relevant information. I'm also going to provide Mr. Frazier with probation's contact information, and he knows exactly what he needs to do to give them a call as soon as he's released. So I don't believe there'll be any issues going forward. So we would just ask Your Honor to accept the recommendation.
Okay, Mr. Frazier, I am going to accept probation's recommendation. However, I'm going to caution you that if you do not provide them within the next 2 weeks that you have enrolled in the domestic violence class, then I'm going to instruct probation to have you back here. If you miss any of your scheduled meetings with probation, I'm going to have you back here. If you come back before this court in violation of, we're giving you the opportunity. If you don't take the opportunity, you're going to be right back here. And the next time, the probation is going to be revoked. And you're going to be right back where you are. You understand what I'm telling you, Mr. Frazier?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes. Have a good day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so this is, okay.
Okay. We'll be in recess until someone else joins us.
Okay.
Roosevelt, about to turn on John Rivers.
Hey there. How's Carlos doing? Okay, we're probably back in court now, so I think we're ready to go. I was going to suggest a breakout room to give the preface or the background for this case.
Okay, let's see, who needs to go into the breakout room?
Carl, the brother, who is Carl's the alleged victim.
Started early, huh? I didn't know that.
And the state, well, it's true, it is 11, it's not 11. But the state and I in the court and Carl would be a great combination, I think.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr.
Carl.
Okay.
As well?
John Rivers.
Yes.
So now she's gonna make that left Michelle pretty quick.
I think that's him, Ms. Duncan.
Carl is the alleged victim. I'm just looking to see.
Is Carlos Thomas with us?
Carlos.
There's Carlos, Your Honor.
Okay, so if you can put all of us into a breakout room, please.
Okay, that's Carlos, you, Judge, McLean, Katrina, and Duncan.
And Walker.
Okay.
Okay, just sit down.
I don't know what else going. This is the dome is closed down.
Yep.
I was where is he? I like the. They got cotton. Like a man on a bar, the money. I believe once you get some blankets. This way, we don't time. I don't know. I stand first world and it was I'm guessing it's a little fierce.
Excuse me, Annex 1. Can you mute your computer, please?
Okay, let's see. It seems like we have some other people, cases that have joined us. So we have, who do we have?
Oh, yeah, it's all three. I guess you
Okay.
could, DC, Your Honor.
Okay, so who do we have first at ACDC?
While McLean's talking with his client, if I can handle either positions 5 or 6 from ACDC.
Well, his brother can't do it forever. His brother's trying to find out.
Okay, ACDC, you're on mute.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, good morning, Ms. Harper. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. Given that this is a non-negotiated plea, Ms. Boxley Chester, does Ms. Harper, position number 5, have a history?
Yes, the defendant has 5 cycles out of Maryland. She does not have any convictions there. She has 68 cycles out of South Carolina. She has a prostitution first offense in 2015. She has 2 failure to appears in 2016. She has shoplifting in 2016. A drugs with attempt possession controlled substance 2017. She's 8 failure to appears in 2018. Misdemeanor entering premises after warning in 2020. Possession less than 1 gram meth or cocaine base in 2020. Misdemeanor assault and battery 3rd degree 2019. Misdemeanor resisting arrest in 2021, and a misdemeanor assault and battery 3rd degree in 2021. And nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred back on August 7th of 2023. At 10:06 p.m., officers patrolling the 5 Points MARTA station. While patrolling, officers heard loud yelling coming from the entrance. Multiple people told officers that the defendant had struck the victim, Mr. Charlie Watson, in the face. The victim indicated that he wanted to press charges and was injured. Officers went to apprehend the defendant, and she began to walk away. After giving several verbal reprimands, the defendant refused to comply. Officers had to use force to get her placed in handcuffs. And those are the facts of the case, given this defendant's criminal history and the fact that she hit a random person again, Mr. Watson. The state's recommendation was 12 months to serve, 60 days. Credit for time served 18 days, balance probated, no further contact with Mr. Watson, MHET, 6 weeks of anger management, and a stay away from all MARTA. If the courts could sign for Mr. Watson if he's on at the appropriate time. Thank you.
If Mr. Charlie Watson is on the call and wishes to address the court, now would be your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so, Mr. Jones. Mr. Dotis?
Thank you, Your Honor. Our only hangup right now is the jail time under the current offer. Ms. Harper would spend an additional 12 days in custody. So instead, we'd ask for her to serve 36 days credit for the 18 days she has served. As we heard from Mr. Jones, the state is asking for a mental health evaluation and treatment and 6 weeks of anger management. Ms. Harper wants to get started on that, and I've provided her with information on what she needs to do to be successful and meet with and see if any care needs to be given. I've also gone over what the 6 weeks of anger management will entail, which I think that she is clear on what she needs to do and will be able to do that. She understands that she may not be able to return to MARTA and that she can't have any further contact with Charlie Watson, which shouldn't be an issue. But I think upon release, she'll, if needed, she'll have the treatment that she needs to make sure that she can get back on track. So we would just ask for this to be a time served offer so that Ms. Harper can get started on these conditions.
Okay, given that there is some issue as to mental health, I think that that might be at the root of the problem. What I would order, Mr. Dodez, is I would take the state's recommendation with regard to the jail time, 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance probated. I would require the MHET, but I would not require the 6 weeks of anger management. So she'd have to do some more time, a little more time in jail, but she would not have to deal with the 6 weeks of anger management. And when she completes the mental health evaluation and treatment, it would go to a non-reporting status. So that would be the court's ruling.
And I would just ask, Ms. Harper, I want to remind that you are recorded, so if you need to talk to me anymore, let me know. We can do a breakout room, but can you do the additional 12 days of jail time? And then you want to do the 6 weeks of anger management.
Can I ask a question?
If you want to talk to me as your attorney, we can do a breakout room. If it's a procedural question about court, you can ask the judge.
Yes, I want to ask the judge. I'm trying to get what he's trying to say. Basically, the state wants me to be 12 more days here and have a mental health evaluation clear when I get released. And then I will have non-reporting with the probation for 12 months.
Right. I wouldn't require you to do the 6 weeks of anger management. I would require that you did the mental health evaluation to see if we can get you some help that way. If it's needed. If it's not needed, then you'd be done. And once you did the mental health evaluation and completed any treatment, then the probation would go to a non-reporting status, which would mean that you'd still be on probation, but you wouldn't have to report every month.
Okay. And I could speak with my probation officer about possible transferring, not now, but like later on in my probation.
Mr. Dodez, I think that's a question for you.
Yes, Your Honor. And Ms. Harper did ask me this question, and I told her I gave her my thoughts, but if someone from probation is on and could just advise Ms. Harper so she hears it from the source on what her options are, if she wanted to transfer her probation down the line.
Okay, this is Ms. Thomas. We don't transfer, but we do have mail-in, phone-in, email. As long as you have an address, a physical address, then she can get mail-in, but she will have to have that discussion with her probation officer. They can do something for her.
Okay.
Can I say one last thing towards the probation? So I can't leave Atlanta until the 12 months is over.
No, I'm not saying that. So you have an out-of-state address?
What I'm saying is my family and my children are in South Carolina. I came here to change environments, to get into a program and do things here and trying to better myself outside of South Carolina, because my sons and my family are in South Carolina, but I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm asking the question is, I'm willing to do the 12 days in the mental health evaluation, which I know I'll more than likely clear. I had evaluation before and I cleared it.
So ma'am, what you're saying, once you leave whatever program that you have, then you're going back home?
I would like to know if I could do that.
So as long as you give your probation officer a physical address.
At South Carolina?
Yes.
Okay, I can go.
As long as you give them a physical address, you should be good.
Just as long as I don't get in trouble either here or South Carolina, I should be fine.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I want to know. I just want to be around my children.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
You're welcome.
Okay. And while Ms. Harper's getting herself together for a moment, Ms. McLeod, your cases that were on the calendar, Mr. Pickney, he's had a medical reset because he had some incident in the jail prior to them bringing him down. So he's reset for next Tuesday. And as far as your first case goes, Mr. Chen, he's being reset to the SEA calendar that I'm on this afternoon. Okay, so I'll see you back this afternoon then.
Yes, Your Honor, and we could take his plea then. Your Honor,
Okay.
Oh, wait, but Norris is
Yeah.
telling me he's still down here. Ms. McLeod wants to take.
Oh.
Okay.
Is he still there? Okay. If
Yes.
he's still there, we can get him then. Okay. All right, so are we all in agreement, Mr. Dodes, on Ms. Harper?
I believe so. Can you give me a thumbs up, Ms. Harper? Does it sound?
Okay.
So I'll do 12 days. I'm doing 12 more days and then, mental health clearance and then I'm
That's
good.
correct.
Then I'm good to go back to South Carolina, just report him to the probation.
Just make sure you stay in contact with your probation officer, and I gave you that sheet of paper, okay?
Yes, sir, thank you so much.
Okay, hold on. So
Oh.
hold on. No.
Sorry.
Ms. Harper, I have to take your plea now. So can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Harper, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002160E, you wish to plead guilty to 2 counts of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and battery. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning? You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Oh, I did what I did.
Okay, you don't want a jury trial, do you?
No, I did what I did.
Okay, has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept your plea, Ms. Harper. This court sentence is 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance probated, a mental health evaluation and treatment if necessary, abide by any MARTA restrictions, no further contact with Mr. Charlie Watson, and let's see. And when you complete the mental health evaluation and treatment, your probation will go to a non-reporting status.
I got
All right.
to go, and I can go back to South Carolina.
Yes, good luck to you, Ms. Harper.
I thank y'all, and I'm sorry to Mr. Watson.
And Your Honor, we would ask if to help Ms. Harper get back on her feet and complete her mental health evaluation and possible treatment, if this court could waive a couple months of her probation fees.
I'm not so inclined to do so at this time, Mr. Dotis.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Harper.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, who do we want to take next? Do we want to, is this Mr. Chen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go ahead and take Mr. Chen since he's there. And have you had the opportunity to speak with him, Ms. McLeod?
Your Honor, and
What
he
are we doing?
the offer.
Okay, so this is a negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Chen? I'm not sure if I've already sworn you in. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So the state's offer is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, stay away from
Not exactly.
apartment A2. I can pull up the address. And balance is going to, well, it was balance probated, but since you're in a rule that the restitution was not going to have to be paid, then balance will be suspended.
Okay, and if you'll get me that stay away address so we can get it on the paperwork. Ms. McLeod?
Yes.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor, just
Okay. Mr. Chen, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002247Y, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and damage to property. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
Yes, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Yes,
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Chen. Mr. Jones, what's that stay away address?
It's gonna be 195 Fairburn Road, apartment A2.
Okay. All right, so you can't go back to that address, Mr. Chen. Good luck to you, sir. Who do we have at ACDC?
Thank you. I believe that concludes my business before the court.
Okay, have a good afternoon, Ms. McLeod.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. I'm sorry, tell me again.
Position number 6, Ms. Shaquina Jefferson.
Good morning, Miss. This is your client, Mr. Dotis, Ms. Jefferson.
I believe so. Is this Ms. Shakina Jefferson?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear earlier.
And this is also going to be a non-negotiated plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Again, the only issue is jail time.
Okay, Ms. Jefferson, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Boxley Chester, do you have Ms. Jefferson's history for me?
Yes, she has a total of 4 cycles. She does not have any convictions, and her last arrest was on January 23rd, out of Cobb County for aggravated assault. Nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So on April 10th, 2023, at 8:33 p.m., officers responded to the Best Western Hotel located at 301 North Central Ave in Hapeville, Georgia. Upon arrivals, officer made contact with both victims, Ms. Donette Levin, and her first name is spelled Donnett, Levin, Levin, and Ms. Monica Sawyer. The victim Levin stated that the defendant came into her office to discuss a discrepancy with her paycheck. During the conversation, the defendant became irate and struck both ladies with a closed fist to the face. Therefore, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 45 days, credit for time served 16 days. Balance probated, 6 weeks of anger management, a stay away from that 301 North Central Ave, Hapeville, Georgia, and no further contact with Donette Levin or Miss Monica Sawyer.
Okay, Mr. Dutters?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Jefferson is clear on all the conditions that are asked for her, and I provided her information so that she can successfully get started and complete her 6 weeks of anger management, which I believe will help her in the future with any such incidents. I've also explained, and she's clear that the conduct that is listed in the accusation is unacceptable. And we talked about ways in which she can pursue any employment-related issues that she felt without dealing with the 2 alleged victims. So I don't think there will be any danger to the alleged victims. Ms. Jefferson has a new job with JR Marketing, which is located on Campbellton Road. She's in jeopardy of losing her job. My understanding is that she believes she can return to that job at this point, as she's only been in custody for 16 days, so a little over 2 weeks. But if she spends another week in jail, I believe that she will no longer have that job, which will make it more difficult for Ms. Jefferson to get back on her feet. So we would ask this court, instead of having her serve the additional 6 or 7 days, to allow her to enter a plea that includes serving 32 days with credit for the 16 days already served. I've provided her with paperwork and information on anger management, and she's clear that as soon as she gets out, she needs to contact her probation officer and get started on that treatment.
Okay. Ms. Jefferson, it's my understanding in case 23 CR 002231C, you wish to plead guilty to 2 counts of simple battery. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept your plea, Ms. Jefferson. The court sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 32 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance probated, 6-week anger management course, no further contact with Ms. Levin or Ms. Sawyer. Stay away from the Best Western at 301 North Central Avenue. When you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get the 6 weeks of anger management done, the sooner you won't be on reporting probation any longer, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Jefferson.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Mr. McLean's client, Miss Jada Wheeler.
I will check with Attorney McLean to see if he's ready.
So you're on mute, courtroom
There we
2.
go.
Mr. McLean, it's my understanding that position 24, Ms. Wheeler, is going to be a negotiated plea. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Wheeler. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Wheeler. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer in this case ending in T261G for account of simple battery in a public transit vehicle or station and criminal trespass is 12 months to serve, 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, but the balance probated of 2 weeks of anger management and stay away from all MARTA. This defendant does in fact have a year-long suspension. The victim in this case is Jennifer Bryson. The state would like the court to sound from Ms. Bryson when appropriate. And we believe that 2 weeks of anger management is more than reasonable in this case, given that this defendant has several open cases, including a PI case in DeKalb, a battery out of DeKalb, and several FTAs, as well as some open cases in state court that include criminal trespass and battery substantial physical harm. I do believe that the victim in this case, his husband, is online. I've been notified by our victim advocate as TG. You would ask the court to allow him to speak.
Okay, you need to tell me who that is, I guess, Ms. Duncan.
It's the initials TB.
Your Honor,
You would have to turn on your camera and state your name for the record.
yes.
Okay,
Your
can you raise your right hand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, you can put your hand down. What's your name, sir?
My name is Todd Bryson. I'm the the husband of the victim.
Okay, and what would you like to tell the court?
Just with a concern that I was in on the call of the arraignment on the 12th, just with the multiple priors that I understand the defendant has, coupled with this happened on MARTA property. And it's my understanding that at that time, she was prohibited to be on MARTA property at that time. So it was a disregard to that. It seems disregard to court orders. And then the last piece is that my wife who is a flight attendant, she's flying today, or she would be here, was on MARTA platform. We don't know the defendant. They had never seen one another. My wife had never seen her. And there was no exchange of words or anything when the defendant, Ms. Wheeler, came up circling behind my wife and punched her in the back of the head, at the bottom of the head and the neck. So just the blatant violence, just unprovoked. My wife's been concerned. I've been escorting her up to the platform on MARTA, as that is her main mode of transportation to and from the airport.
Okay, Thank you, Mr. Bryson. We appreciate you being here today.
Certainly. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Ms. Wheeler, I asked the court to accept her negotiated plea of guilty and stipulates to venue, ID, and factual basis.
Okay. Ms. ACDC, if you'll unmute for me, please. Ms. Wheeler, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 002261G, you wish to plead guilty to simple battery in a public transit vehicle or station and criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Ms. Wheeler. When you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get that, the anger management completed, the sooner you won't be on reporting probation. Good luck to you, Ms. Wheeler.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I add something?
Mr. McLean?
She can call me or they can call the phone when it's free in a moment.
Okay, if you need to speak with Mr. McLean, you'll be able to speak with him after court today, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and so who do we have now?
This is Mr. Arana. I've just met him, Your Honor. I think that if we just reset the case a week, that the progress will be made on what needs to be made on.
Okay, so reset until next Tuesday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you back next Tuesday, Mr. Arana.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Does that complete the calendar this morning?
Okay, that should be it, Your Honor.
Okay, I think it is. So let's see.
Judge, regarding about the add-on from Mr. Booker, he said just go on and reset it. We thought it would be out in time enough. So I was waiting for his reply to confirm if next Tuesday or this Thursday would be good for him, because I do not know his schedule.
Okay, so it'll either be reset until Thursday or till next Tuesday, whichever council prefers.
Okay, I'll get back in touch with him and see if he can confirm this week or next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lewis. And whenever you're ready to go over the calendar.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, he's gonna talk to him. Yeah. And you can have my. What exactly is the one for us?
Okay, everybody's ready. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit underneath the weather. The add-on for the add-on position number 1, defendant waive arraignment, plead not guilty. The case is reset for trial for the notice. Position number 2 is going to be reset to either this Thursday or next Tuesday. SAP counter will confirm later. Position number 1 on the original counter was a plea. Position number 2 was a plea. Position number 3 was a plea. Position number 4 is reset further notice, defendant waive arraignment. Position number 5 was a non-negotiated plea. Position number 6 was also a non-negotiated plea. Position number 7, defendant waive arraignment, cases reset for trial for the notice. Same announcement for 8, defendant waive arraignment, cases reset for trial for the notice. Position number 9 was a plea. Position number 10 is reset to the competency counter for May 11th at 11 o'clock. Position number 11 was a plea. Position number 12 and 13, defendant waive arraignment, cases reset for trial for the notice. Position 14 is reset for the SAP counter for May the 2nd. Position number 15 and 16 was a plea. Position number 17 and 18 is going to be reset for the SAP counter for May the 2nd. Position number 19 was a plea. Position number 20 is gonna reset for May the 9th SAP counter. Position 21 was a plea. Position 22, defendant was arraigned not guilty, case is reset for trial, further notice.
Yes.
Position 23 was a plea. Position 24 was a plea. Position 25 was a plea. Any questions or any concern? And on the DB counter, both cases are reset for the next competency counter for May the 11th, and the bond forfeitures were set aside.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lewis. I hope you feel better. And for everyone else, thank you all. We appreciate it. I will see you on Thursday.
Please send all plea paperwork all to me, please, in a timely manner. I appreciate it.
I'll tell McLean.
All right, and Judge.
Thank you all.
Take it to me.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.